Imagine standing at the edge of a mountain at sunrise. The sky burns with fire, the air tastes sharp and new. For a moment, everything feels whole, as if the world is exactly as it should be. Yet in the next breath, life rushes back in. Worries, regrets, the unshakable weight of things we wish were different. But what if there was another way? What if, instead of resisting the twists of life, we could embrace them fully, even the painful ones? This is the ancient idea of Amor Fati, a phrase whispered through time by philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and later by Nietzsche. Love your fate. Not tolerate it, not endure it, but love it. Part 1. What does Amor Fati really mean? At first it sounds strange. How can one love what seems unbearable? How can one love betrayal, illness, failure, or death? But Amor Fati is not naive optimism. It does not say, everything happens for a reason. Instead, it whispers something deeper. Whatever happens, let it be yours. The Stoics taught that life is not within our control, only our response is. The river of existence carries us forward whether we fight or surrender. To love fate is to dive into the current, arms wide, even when the waters are cold and merciless. Part 2. The weight of resistance. Think of how much of our suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our resistance to them. We replay conversations, wishing we had said something different. We curse the weather, as if the sky itself had conspired against us. We demand that reality bend to our will, and when it does not, we collapse into anger, despair, or bitterness. But resistance is a kind of second wound. Life cuts us once, and we cut ourselves again by saying, it should not have been this way. Amor Fati invites us to drop the blade. Part 3. History's example. Consider Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, ruler of millions, yet also a man who buried children, lost friends, and faced betrayal in his own court. In his meditations, he wrote not for others, but for himself. Reminders to stay calm, to accept what the universe placed in his path. He did not always succeed, but he kept trying. Centuries later, Nietzsche sharpened the phrase. He asked us, if you had to live this very life again and again for all eternity, would you curse it, or would you embrace it with joy? That is the test of Amor Fati. To say, even to suffering, yes, again, I would choose it again. Part 4. The personal challenge. Now bring this closer to your own life. Think of the heartbreak you once thought would destroy you. Didn't it in some hidden way shape the person you are now? Think of failure. The job you didn't get, the path you lost. Didn't it open doors you could not have seen otherwise? This is not to romanticize pain. Some wounds remain raw. Some tragedies cannot be justified. But Amor Fati does not demand that we like suffering. It asks that we see it as inseparable from life's totality. To say yes to one sunrise is to say yes to all the storms that follow. Part 5. Living Amor Fati daily. So how do we practice this love of fate in the small ordinary moments? When the bus is late, instead of rage, whisper, this too is part of my path. When someone insults you, see it as training for patience. When you fall ill, remember that even weakness can teach strength. It is not easy. The instinct is always to resist. But slowly, with practice, the heart learns to bend. And one day, you may find yourself smiling not only at fortune, but at misfortune too, because both belong to you. Part 6. The gift of freedom. To love fate is paradoxically to be free, because once you embrace what is, the world loses its power to wound you. Disappointment cannot crush you, because you have chosen it. Death cannot terrify you, because it too is embraced as part of life. It is the ultimate rebellion against despair. To love fate is to say, nothing can happen to me that does not belong to me. How can we live Amor Fati not just as a thought but as a way of being? Part 1. The illusion of control. Most of us live as if we control far more than we actually do. We plan, we predict, we set goals, and we believe the world owes us the outcome. But reality, indifferent and vast, often crushes those illusions. The storm cancels the wedding. The company closes before the career begins. The person we love chooses another path. We call these unfair as if life were a contract broken. But was it ever promised? Did the universe sign your plans? Amor Fati strips away this illusion. It reminds us, life is not a negotiation. Life is a gift given without terms. To love fate is to give up the contract and live freely in the storm. Part 2. The mirror of suffering. Consider this. Suffering is a mirror. It shows us who we really are. When fortune smiles, we smile back. But when it withdraws, when everything collapses, we see our true strength. Think of the soldier who finds courage not in victory but in defeat. Think of the parent who discovers love not in ease but in sacrifice. Think of yourself in your darkest hour. Did you not glimpse some hidden power you never expected to find? Suffering, then, is not the enemy of Amor Fati. It is its teacher. Part 3. The danger of resentment. But there is a shadow that often follows pain. Resentment. Nietzsche warned of this most of all. To live with resentment is to carry poison, to let the past infect the present. It is the quiet voice that says, life cheated me. Others stole my joy. The world owes me. Resentment makes us prisoners of events long gone. Amor Fati is the key that unlocks the cell. By saying yes to what has already happened, we cut the chain of bitterness. Part 4. The paradox of freedom. Here lies the paradox. To love your fate is to give up control, and in doing so, you gain freedom. The person who resists life is bound by it. The one who accepts life is carried by it. Imagine a sailor clinging in terror to the mast during a storm. He is rigid, tense, and the waves batter him. Now imagine another sailor who moves with the storm, adjusting sails, bending, not breaking. The storm is the same, the difference is love versus fear. Which sailor are you? Part V. The practice of daily Amor Fati. So how do we practice this in the small details of life? In frustration, when technology fails, when traffic stalls, when the day crumbles, and pause and whisper, this too belongs. In failure, see rejection not as a dead end, but as a door turning you elsewhere. In grief, do not demand that loss be undone. Honor it as part of the whole tapestry of your life. In success, do not cling to joy as if it must stay forever. Celebrate it as another wave of fate. This practice is not passive. It requires effort, discipline, and above all, memory. We must remind ourselves daily until it becomes instinct. Part 6. Amor Fati and creativity. There is another side, creativity. To love your fate is not only to accept what is, but to shape beauty from it. The artist does not choose the clay. He takes whatever is given and molds it. The poet writes not with chosen events, but with lived ones. Your life, too, is art. The heartbreak, the triumph, the mundane errands, the silent nights, all are colors on your canvas. Will you resist the colors, or will you paint with them? Part 7. The infinite return. Nietzsche's eternal return is the most radical test of Amor Fati. He asks, what if every moment, this one right now, will repeat forever exactly as it is? Would you curse the thought, or would you embrace it? This is not metaphysics, it is a challenge. If you would shudder at reliving today eternally, then perhaps you are not living in harmony with fate. But if you can look at this moment, even with its flaws, and say, yes, I would choose it again, then you are free. Part 1. The gift of Amor Fati. The true gift is peace. Not the peace of a life without struggle, but the peace of a soul that welcomes struggle as its own. Imagine walking into each day, no matter how uncertain, with the quiet strength of knowing, whatever comes, I will not only endure it, I will love it. This is courage, this is serenity, this is the love of fate. We have explored the idea of Amor Fati, to not just accept, but to love whatever happens. We have seen how it frees us from bitterness, transforms suffering, and makes life itself a work of art. But philosophy that remains in words is incomplete. The Stoics were not simply thinkers, no, they were practitioners. Their philosophy was not something to admire in books. It was something to live every day. So now we ask, how do we live Amor Fati in practice? What can we do each day to cultivate this radical love of existence? Here are 10 exercises. Not commandments, not rules, but practices. Try them, test them, make them your own. Practice 1. The morning rehearsal. Each morning before you begin the day, pause and imagine what could happen. Imagine delay, insult, failure, even loss. Marcus Aurelius did this every day. He reminded himself that he would meet selfish, angry, ungrateful people. This is not pessimism, it is preparation. When you expect fate to test you, you are no longer surprised when it does. You are ready to say, ah, yes, this is the day I imagined. Practice 2. The evening reflection. At night before sleep, review the day. Ask yourself, where did I resist fate? Where did I complain? Where did I embrace it? Do not judge yourself harshly. This is not about guilt. It is about awareness. Slowly, with reflection, the habit of resistance weakens, and the love of fate grows. Practice 3. The whisper of yes. When something small goes wrong, you spill coffee, you miss the bus, whisper quietly, yes. Do not fight it, do not curse. Simply say, yes, this too is part of my life. Over time, the whisper of yes becomes a shield. Even in great trials, your first instinct will be to accept. Practice 4. Transforming language. Notice how often we say, I have to work, I have to clean, I have to endure this meeting. Replace it with, I get to work, I get to clean, I get to live this moment. The task is the same, but the meaning changes. Fate is no longer a burden, it becomes a gift. Practice 5. The view from above. This is an old Stoic meditation. Imagine rising high above the earth. See your city as a dot, your problems as dust. Then rise higher, past the clouds, past the stars, until you see the entire earth as a single point. From that height, what is this insult? This delay, this disappointment? Nothing but a moment in infinity. From above, fate seems not cruel but vast and strangely beautiful. Practice 6. The art of reframing. When hardship comes, ask, what is this teaching me? Failure may be teaching humility. Pain may be teaching endurance. Loss may be teaching love. Do not ask why me. Ask why not me. For who are you to be spared the lessons every human must face? Practice 7. Loving the ordinary. Often we resist not great tragedies, but the small, boring details of life. Waiting in line, washing dishes, folding clothes. Amor Fati asks us to love even this, to see the sacred in the ordinary, to notice the beauty of soap bubbles in a sink, the rhythm of footsteps in a queue. To love fate is not only to love destiny's storms, but also its daily rituals. Practice 8. Eternal return test. Throughout the day, pause and ask, If I had to live this exact moment again and again for eternity, would I embrace it? This is Nietzsche's great test. If the answer is no, then perhaps you are resisting fate. But if you can say yes, even to the simple act of drinking water or walking down a street, then you are truly living Amor Fati. Practice 9. Gratitude for the unchosen. Make a list, not of what you chose, but of what you did not choose. You did not choose your parents. You did not choose the century you were born into. You did not choose the weather today. And yet all of these unchosen things are part of who you are. Write them down. Say thank you. Gratitude for the unchosen is the essence of Amor Fati. Practice 10. The final meditation. Death. To love fate fully, we must love even its end. Each day, remind yourself, I will die. Those I love will die. All of this will pass. At first, this feels heavy, but slowly it becomes light. Because death makes every moment precious. It sharpens the taste of life. To love death is to love life completely, without condition. These 10 practices are not meant to be mastered in a day. They are seeds. Plant them. Water them with reflection, patience, and repetition. Slowly, they will grow into a habit of the soul. And one day, when life tests you, with loss, with failure, with change, you may find yourself doing something extraordinary. Not just enduring, but smiling. Not just surviving, but loving. That is Amor Fati in action, not an abstract idea, not a distant philosophy, but a living, breathing way of being. So when you hear the words Amor Fati, remember, it is not a passive surrender. It is an active embrace, a fierce, defiant yes to the totality of existence. Your fate is not something happening to you. It is you. To reject it is to reject yourself. To love it is to become whole. Your past? Yes. Your present? Yes. Your unknown future? Yes. Love it all. For it is yours and it was never meant to be otherwise. Stand once more at the edge of that mountain. The wind is cold, the sun rising, behind you are regrets, before you, uncertainty. And yet you whisper to the universe, I do not wish it different, I do not wish it easier, I wish it exactly as it is. That whisper is Amor Fati, not only a philosophy, not only an idea, but a way of being.